amounts of ships and welcoming us back into the human family of space, which is what we kind of left when we went into this temporary quarantine about 13 millennia ago.
Mm-hmm. Are there documents that still exist that talk about these aliens in the past? Ancient documents?
Oh, there's all kinds of documents. People have written tons of UFO books about them. I mean, there's all kinds of pictures and people talking about it, and people, of course, have seen even famous paintings by masters that have had ships in them. It's something that's been around humanity for a long time. And, of course, I learned from some archaeologists, some Egyptologists, that there's actually some incredible murals in Egypt that have ships in them. And, of course, those are off limits. They're just been made secret. People, except if they have certain passes, aren't allowed there. So most people don't know about it, but they're there.
Okay, so you are saying that they have advised you that there will be a momentous occasion where they come down in massive ships, I suppose, and then
right, yeah, there'll be millions of ships that'll come down. It's part of Contact, and people who watch the heavens and know what's going on have seen all kinds of strange and crazy things going on in the last 15 years, especially. Especially in the last 10 years.
Okay, so are you from a skeptic standpoint, or for anybody to be a skeptic, could they point to things that are escalating? I mean, could you, without the knowledge of them, look at the events of the planet and say something is escalating, something is happening, something has changed? Could you perceive that without being in contact with them? Or can the average person, should they be able to see that?
Well, if they really look around, they will see that there are tremendous changes going on our planet.
Such as what?
And if they had a background in atmospheric science and space science, they would know that there's tremendous things going on in space right now. Right now we have all kinds of changes going on in our planetary system, including the sun, and which is unprecedented. And we also have strange things going on our planet. Like right now, NASA is going to be looking at this strange blue glow clouds that they've been seeing happening over the last few years. So if you would look out there, you would say, all the events happening on our planet, a lot of shifts. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on this planet which show the world is turning toward peace. So if you would see this rise in consciousness, and movies who have done polls, the movie industry, have seen that angels and UFOs and stuff related to both subjects have been increasing in popularity in terms of people wanting that to happen, in terms of positive, benevolent movies about all of this, instead of all the scary horror movies that we get, like War of the Worlds. So if Hollywood would do what its audience said, we would start seeing movies that are all about benevolence of people from outer space, about the fact that we are actually approaching a point in our consciousness because there is great changes going on in our genetics, great changes going on in our consciousness, great changes going on in what's happening to us, for instance, the whole phenomenon of the indigo children. So if we would look at all of that and just start piecing it all together, even if you just didn't throw the extraterrestrial aspect into the whole piece, you would start getting holistically, as you put all this together, you would say there is a great shift coming in humanity, and it's very, very soon. It's not centuries away. It's very, very soon.
Sheldan, did you just suggest that the planet is heading towards peace?
The planet is heading toward peace in spite of all the madness. We're in a period of chaos right now, where we are moving toward the last group that is in charge of the craziness on this planet is heading towards trying to constantly create situations of war because they're trying to maintain a position of dominance. But in the long run, which is not too far down the line, this is all going to change. We're approaching a point of a miraculous shift in our world, and it's going to come just suddenly. It's not going to be, especially the political aspect of it, it's not going to be something that you can see coming except if you look around and understand the minutiae of what's going on politically. You would see that there has to be a change and a shift, and you would start seeing the beginnings of that right now. That's
Sheldan, why did you use the word miraculous?
Well, I'm using miraculous because if something is being planned and it hasn't happened yet, and suddenly it happens, and most people don't know about it, it seems miraculous. And I'm just using that as a term. Okay, because
I think to the average listener, when you say miraculous, you're talking about some sort of divine intervention or some divine.
Right.
But you're not.
That's not what this is. Right?
No. Okay. I didn't think you were. And then the other thing is, you mentioned that there are. When the last group is moved out of the way, and that brings us to this fast blast question: do they have people in the White House?
There are people all over the place that they have. Yeah, there are people in the White House and the government that are working toward getting rid of this present government. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, are these Are these aliens that look like humans?
Well, most of the people that are doing this are people on this planet who are cooperating with that group that you might say from outer space, or ETs, or Galactic Federation people, or et cetera, however you want to put it together. Mm-hmm. And they're working together, and they have been doing this for over a decade. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the people that have been working to change this government have been doing this for decades because they've understood the nature of what is happening on our planet, and especially in the United States, and how this has changed the world and how it's creating the situation that we now see breaking out all over us. And that this has to change. So there are people working within the bureaucracies of this government, as well as in the higher levels of this government, to change it.
Well, wait a minute now. I thought they had a non-interference pact.
Well, these are people that are changing. It's not just the Federation that's doing this. It's people on this planet that want to change.
And how can
they've been working very, very hard, and basically all that the Galactic Federation personnel do is they just act as catalysts just to move the situation along.
Okay, how can the human race be part of this Federation when we don't know about it? We never took a vote on it, so shouldn't the planet have a right to vote whether or not we want to be in that organization?
Well, once you get to a certain level, you'll meet the people from inner Earth, and you'll also learn about the Federation, and you'll also see the natural development. Right now, a lot of us have low levels, or I like to call limited consciousness, and we don't understand what's happening. And also, we don't understand the complete, full concept of divine contracts, of true free will, and all that other stuff. And the situation is that we already, on another spiritual level, have already agreed to all this. Well, what's going to happen is when contact happens, we're going to move ourselves physically forward and understand the whole process and embrace it. Until then, a lot of people will be, as you said, a little, I might say, little fighting about this whole thing, and not fully understanding the process.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone, you're listening to the Edge radio broadcast, and on our newsmaker line is Sheldan Nidle, the head of the Planetary Activation Organization. And don't forget, this interview will be posted for free on the Edge website tomorrow, as well as the availability of podcasting on iTunes at apple.com. Sheldan, when they come down, can the average person go and shake? You said there's going to be millions, so are they going to be not only in the White House lawn, are they going to land in my backyard?
It's going to be everywhere. If it won't be in your back lawn, it'll be someplace close by.
Okay, so everyone, all the listeners should be able to access a interview or a greeting with the aliens.
Right. What the process is for the human space family to come down and begin the first process of reaccustoming us to who we are and where we're going. Okay. Which is back toward being fully conscious beings.
Okay. Sheldan, somebody did go to your website, and they have this question. Is that a 6-point pentagram on your website?
What it is that is a Star of David on there, and that's what it is. And then the other part is a cross, and then there's two things called a scythe, and then there's a gold and a silver circle around it. And what that is called the Umak Dan in Syrian, which simply means the symbol of creation. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what it represents is, and it has a purple field on it, which is important to also understand. Purple represents the universe, creation. Mm-hmm. And what it represents simply is the bringing forth of the light to overcome the dark and create a universe of light and a universe that is divine and dedicated to carrying out the divine plan of the Creator.
Okay.
Put it simply.
Okay. So would it be fair to say then that the aliens are acknowledging the worth of those religions that those symbols represent?
Well, those religions represent what the symbols represent are part of the universal creation symbols. So yeah, they're kind of recognizing that. Mm-hmm.
And so you mentioned God in that last segment there. Would you just your last response? And now, so are you suggesting that this is part of a divine plan to bring the aliens to greet the humans? Right.
It's divine. They were summoned to do this by heaven. Mm-hmm. So
now, why wouldn't
the process is they are working with the Creator and with heaven for this process, and first contact is part of this last step of shifting us from being where we are right now to being fully conscious beings.
Okay, well, that just answered this fast blast question. Are they partners with God? And I would say you just said yes. Here's a question.